So the other day I was chatting with Betty, and I know, imagine that, right? And you all know Betty. I talk about Betty a lot. I talk about her almost as much as I talk about Chad. The beautiful thing about Betty is she's the complete polar opposite of Chad. Betty's got her shit together, Chad doesn't. But I digress. Those are other videos for other days. So, as I was saying, I was talking with Betty, and she said to me, I feel like I'm not seeing the same old faces I used to see all the time. I feel like I've lost touch with a couple of my customers. I feel like they've gone away and gone someplace else. And I kind of knew what she was saying. I kind of knew where she was going. And she wasn't wrong in her assessment. But I kind of wanted to feel her out a little bit, just make sure that what I was thinking she was saying is what she was actually saying. And so I asked her, I said, we're in the midst of a pandemic. Even now, it's been a long time. Do you think that's having an effect on your business? Do you think that maybe that's causing you some issues that you didn't plan for, you didn't expect? I mean, who expected it to go this long, right? And she kind of mulled it over for a second and paused, and she said to me, you know what? It goes deeper than that. And it's kind of been brewing since way before the pandemic, back in the before days. And I laughed, and, we all kind of remember the before days, right? Like, it seems like that was a long, long time ago. But they were good times. They were some good times, back when business was good. But again, I get off the track here. I wasn't getting closer to the answer that I wanted, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna be blunt about it, And as I said, Betty and I are friends. She's my ideal consumer. I know her like the back of my hand, and I felt like I could really open up and be blunt. And I said to her, some of your consumers have forgotten about you. Sounds like they may have come down with a case of environmental blindness. A case of what? She said. He was like, what the hell is that? And I said, it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. First of all, it's preventable. It's curable. Every business suffers from it. Every consumer is a victim of it. Yes, even you, people who are watching, even you have become victims and sufferers of environmental blindness. And I know there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to discuss, and there's a lot to get into. But let's do the opening first, shall we? And then we'll kind of get into some greater detail, and we'll kind of make sense of what I'm talking about, hopefully. All right, I'll see you on the other side. Howdy and welcome back. I'm E.H. Howard, and this is the Small Business Show. And if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I just want to kind of get off the top at the beginning. I kind of start every show this way, is I just want to make sure that we're clear on what I'm talking about with small business. The ideas and the philosophies I talk about can apply to anybody, but I'm specifically, my core consumer, my ideal consumers are small mom and pop, no more than 10 employees, kind of Main Street businesses, people that are running a home business, a solopreneur business, entrepreneurs, contractors, consultants, freelancers. It's a lot. It's a lot to fit into a sentence. So I usually just shorthand it down to small business. So when I say small business, that's who I'm talking about. Hopefully people quite just like you. All right, so now that that's out of the way, as I was saying, I was talking to Betty. And if you don't know about Betty, you can find out more about her at my website, just betty.ehhoward.com. Or you can also go to findyourbetty.ehhoward.com. Or findyourbetty.com, sorry. And we were talking about how she wasn't seeing a bunch of those familiar faces. She wasn't seeing those consumers that had been coming in on a regular basis. Well, semi-regular basis. They were more her casual consumers, all right? They weren't her super fans. She's kind of got those people locked in. But she wasn't seeing the same faces that she expected. She wasn't seeing a lot of the casual consumer. And I said to her, I'm 100% sure that you'd have seen a drop-off. I would be surprised if you hadn't. I mean, who wouldn't these days see a drop-off? And it happens more often than you think, and it happens all the time. It happens to small businesses, it happens to big business, it happens to consumers all over the place. And again, as I said at the top of the show, it's preventable and it's curable. And before we get into the solutions on how to solve it, how to keep it preventable, how to keep it curable, and I'm not talking with a vaccine because we're not getting out of that subject in any way, shape, or form. I'm not touching that. Let's discuss how we got here. Okay, let's discuss what the problem is and figure out if we're talking about the same thing, if we're kind of getting in the same way, and then we can kind of all see if we're feeling the same thing. And then from there, see if we can come up with a solution that works. All right. So I said to her, and I'm going to ask you guys too, and please, leave a comment below. I'd like to hear what you're doing. Do you feel overwhelmed, stressed out, and aggravated? Do you feel like you're working harder than ever before? And I'm not talking during the pandemic times. I mean, we've all been busting our ass during the pandemic times. I'm talking the before times. Because if my theory is correct, this has been brewing for most businesses for a while. If you've been around for more than a year, you've started to feel this environmental blindness. And I asked her, I said, do you feel like you're just going crazy? Like there's just not enough hours in the day and you feel like you're moving, but you're not making any headway because you're so busy trying to find new consumers and get the work done. And it's a lot. And she said, I really do. And she said, I thought I was just being part of a small business owner. That's part of the contract when we join the small business owners club, right? Like we're going to work more hours than we would if we were industry, and we're going to put in weekends. It's never ending for us. And that is part of the bargain that we made. However, the part of the bargain that we seem to forget about is we were hoping to have more free time, more time to spend with family, more time to do the things that we wanted to enjoy. It wasn't just autonomy away from somebody keeping an eye on us and being our own bosses. That's part of it, but that wasn't the whole reason we started our business. And I said to her, do you feel like there's time in your day to have some rest and relaxation? Can you sit down and watch, an hour TV show on streaming? And she said, no, I feel like I'm a dog chasing my tail. I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel and I never end. And I leaned over and I said to her, Betty, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Come on, we've known each other for 15 years. I don't need to sugarcoat it. You don't want me to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to say it right here, right now. And it's part of why you're here, right? Here's what happens. All right. Here's how we got to where we got if you're feeling this way. All right. You get busy. You start getting a lot of work in. You're starting to go crazy with work. You're trying to keep up with the work because, again, it's all on us. We are the only people running our business. So we are answering the phones, answering emails. We're paying the bills. We're accounts payable, accounts receivable. We're the receptionist. We're the vice president, the CEO, the CFO, everything. So we pull back on things. We start to pull back on things that we want to do, that we need to do, but we don't have time to do, like sales and marketing. And then when the work starts to slow down, we start to panic, and then we start to sell and market again, and we go crazy, and we're out there going gangbusters, and it doesn't seem like we're making much headway. And there's a simple reason for that, because you haven't been in their faces, you haven't been in part of their intention circle. They've forgotten about you, specifically your inbound consumers. And this is the one mistake that all businesses make is they are too busy focusing outside of their business on consumers who don't know them rather than focusing on the consumers who do know them. Their inbound clients, their casual consumers, the people that they can easily remind who they are, why they're purchasing from them, and get them to purchase more and share that experience with people. And it's a much easier path, right? Now, just to be clear, we're not assigning blame here. It's nobody's fault that this happens. It just happens. It's a natural part of being a small business because we don't have departments. We don't have other people helping us. We don't have assistants. The problem is we need to step back for a second, all right? We need to look at things from a bigger perspective, from a little higher altitude than we are, all right? Now, there was this amazing florist shop by my house, and it's been here in town since probably the 20s. I think it was the 20s. And it's been here as long as I've lived here. And when we first moved here, we would go shopping there all the time. It was the place that we used to buy flowers for. Whatever we needed for a special occasion or an event or something like that, we would always go over there and we would buy flowers. And not every week, special occasion time. So we were definitely the casual consumer. Now, over time, it just forgot they were on the other side of town, a whole 2 miles away on the other side of town. But things got busy. We got crazy. Things happened. Shit, people are coming over. I forgot to buy flowers. We need to go to this thing. I forgot to get flowers. And I know, you're going to yell. I'm going to get at me. I bought flowers from the grocery store floral department. All right. I committed a major sin. I asked for forgiveness. But I have seen the error of my ways. Now, it's been quite a few years since we went there. Maybe 5 or 6 years, something like that. But we drive past them all the time. They're on a main street through town. So it's not like I don't see them. I drive past them all the time. Sadly, like everything in life, if it's not majorly important and right in front of our face and forcing us to look at it, it becomes part of the background, part of the scenery, all right? So it's like when you put a Post-it note on your computer and then suddenly you don't remember, you're like looking for your password, but it's on a Post-it note on your computer that's been there for like 10 years and you just completely forget about it because it becomes part of the scenery. You ignore things, all right? It's how we get people that are hoarders, I guess. I don't know. It's why sometimes I realize, I should have dusted. That is environmental blindness. We stop seeing what we need to see. And the first thing Betty asked me was, is that what happened to me? Is that what's going on? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what's happening. But don't forget, it's curable. It's fixable. We can fix this. It's pretty easy. Now, when I was a kid, my dad and I would drive around all the time. And I think I've told you this in other videos. He was a big person, but I'm going to start a business there. And he had one saying every time. We would always drive past a dilapidated old business or a broken down old house or something like that. One that was like, uninhabitable. And his joke would always be, all it needs is a dab of spackle and a coat of paint and it'll look brand new again. It's true. Good coat of paint can change things. It will break your environmental blindness. It will disrupt things. And that's exactly what the floral shop did. They trimmed the trees that were in front of their building so it wasn't covering the signage anymore. They painted on the outside. And suddenly, as I was driving down the street, something caught my attention that was completely new and different. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. It was out of order. It was disrupting my point of view. And then I remembered, that's that floral shop that I used to love to go to. They had really great customer service. They had really great flowers. I paid a little bit more than I would at the grocery store, but the quality was so much better. The choice and the selection was so much better. How did I ever forget that they were there? And that's what happens to all of us. That's what happens to every business. And if you're a Main Street business where you've got like a brick and mortar location, you're really lucky in one sense, is that at least people are walking by. You have an easier thing to do. You can change your windows up, you can paint, you can fix things up a little bit. But if you're a home business or a solopreneur or a contractor or a consultant, your Main Street is the internet. And that's a lot of people to compete with. That's a lot of attention getting that needs to happen, right? Well, maybe not necessarily. Here's 5 ways that you can disrupt environmental blindness. All right. Number 1, you change it up on a regular basis. No matter what you are, who you are, what you do, you have a way to change things up. Okay. Maybe you don't have a window display to change every month, but you have a avatar picture. You have a banner on something. You are on some sort of social media. You have a website that you could change pictures on every so often. Even the most subtle change, a new avatar picture will get people's attention. A new banner on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook, on your website will get people's attention. Do anything that you can to kind of disrupt the normalcy. You want people looking at you. You want people to hear what you're saying. And the people that will see you are the people that you want to see you. And that brings me to the next one. You got to be seen more, all right? Look, I get it. At the end of a long day, the last thing I want to do at 10 o'clock at night, I've eaten dinner, I've washed the dishes, I just want to sit down and relax. But that's a perfect time to be on social media. It's a perfect time to get out there and start talking to people because you can
hate to be the one to break it to you, but you can be on social media and watch TV at the same time. It's not that hard to do. I do it a lot, which explains some of my tweets, huh? But what I'm saying is, you've got to be seen more. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be out there all the time posting ads or uploading videos or anything like that, all right? Just be on social media. Talk to people, like tweets, follow people, start conversations. And that brings me to my next point, which is be strategic. You know your customer, all right? You know your consumer. Mine are small home and solopreneur businesses. They don't have time during the day to be checking social media, to be reading my posts, reading my tweets, watching my videos. Pardon me, I totally get that. I do spend some time during the day on social media, but it's more for awareness. It's more to just keep things out there, for me to build a habit of consistently being out there. But you will notice that I do my heaviest social media work between 7 o'clock and 11 o'clock, because I know that is when my consumer is sitting down ready to take in information. If your consumer are stay-at-home moms, then maybe they have a little bit more time during the day than they do in the evening. So figure out when is the best time that your customer or consumer is going to be where you need them to be so that you can talk to them, okay? Be consistent though. That brings us to the next point, consistency. You gotta do it all the time. You can't just send one tweet and then 6 months later send another tweet, and then 6 months later. You've got to be consistent. You've got to do something on social media every week, okay? I'm not talking all 7 days. I'm not talking 8 hours a day, but you need to be on there. Choose a time that works for you. Find out when your consumer is going to be on social media. Set up a time for that and say, okay, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because I know that's when my consumer has some downtime, I'm going to post things. Other than that, I may post things that I enjoy, I may post things that I like, or I may repost things. But those Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 to 4, those are my key hours. Those are the hours that I am going to spend most trying to get after my consumer, okay? Which leads me to the next point. Build connections and relationships. You don't have to send ads. You don't have to make great posts. You don't have to even wow the world with your social media savviness. You're a small home or solopreneur business. You work well building relationships. That is how your sales and marketing works. That's how your sales and marketing grows, building relationships. Go online and talk to your consumers, engage with them, talk to other people online that can help you find more consumers. Doesn't have to be classic ideas of social media. Building relationships and connections will help you grow your business quicker and easier than running an ad that's going to be on there and people are just going to finally get environmental blindness from it, right? That is it. You want to make sure, and that's a great way to disrupt them, is to start talking to them, get them engaged. I totally get that, and I need to make some changes in my content strategy. I totally get that, she said, and I agree with her. And it can be difficult. It can be hard to find the time, but you got 5 steps now that can help you get there. You just need to do them. Now, I feel at the center of all of this, it's a little bit about respect, okay? We want to be respected as businesses, and we want consumers to respect us as businesses. We want to respect the consumer, and that's a two-way street. If we don't take the time to get to know them, to understand them, to respect them, then they are not going to take the time to find us as valuable and as important as we think we should be. All right, we can't expect them to remember us if we aren't going to put in the time and the effort to be memorable. That's the bottom line. Spend some time with them, focus on them, give them some love and attention that they will in turn give to you. And then you've basically cured environmental blindness. You've solved the problem right there. We haven't cured cancer, but we have cured environmental blindness. And that's a great start, right? We got to start somewhere. And I told you at the beginning of the video, and as I told Betty, I told you it was curable. I told you it was fixable. And it really is, with a couple of little simple things. All right, this has been the Small Business Show, and I am your swanky host, E.H. Howard, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, hit like and subscribe below. That lets me know that you're enjoying it, and I'll do more videos. Well, I'll do what I want, but no, I will make more videos if these are things that you really like. While you're here, check out the other channels that I have. They're all designed to help small home and solopreneur businesses build stronger and better marketing skills, help them be more effective in what they do with less time and energy and less resources spent to make sense, to work into your schedule, into your mindset. Visit me at ehhoward.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There you can learn about me, sell the experience, do American Dream, and find your bedding. While you're there, we also run a resource library of downloadable content, worksheets, videos to help you understand how to use and work with the worksheets that cover topic areas like goals and an experience funnel and planning, things that small businesses and home businesses need, but aren't necessarily sales and marketing based. Also, if you want to learn your skills, if you want to learn how to develop the skills to be a sales and marketing pro for your home or small business, join me over on Patreon. Over there, we do live lecture series. We're doing live workshops, all kinds of things. There's an archive library of content that can help you learn how to create selling points and talking points, how to use social media more effectively, how to network like a pro, all the skills that you need to get out there and make your business grow in ways that feel comfortable. And finally, follow me on social media. I'm E.H. Howard literally everywhere. Well, not everywhere. I'm on just the good ones. Just the good ones. Other than that, I think that's everything. I think it's all that. All right. I will see you in the next video then. All right. Have a good one.